Here's something you never hear a man say. Stop sucking my dick or I'll call the police. Now, I've been doing this for 41 years, and I've done 137 different Tonight shows, starting with Jack Parr, the interim host until Carson took over with Carson, and then with Reynolds. It's 4 different eras, okay? Thank you. I mentioned this to you because in all that time, to do 137, because I always did a stand-up. I never did that shit just sit down, you know. I always said, go over there and earn your fucking living. So I always did a 6-minute stand-up. And with my act, as you know, even back several years, pretty rough to get 6 minutes out of it that you can do on NBC television. So I had plenty of things that I was able to do, and there are a lot of things in my shows over the years that are perfectly fine, and they're clean and cute and innocent and sweet and everything. But, you know, you only got so many of them. And then, what I would do when I was kind of stuck for 6 minutes, I'd go through my files, because I have these extensive files I kept all my life, all the shit that I thought of and wrote down. I wrote them all down, got them all in files. They're on the hard drive now. And they're all just single lines, 1 line, 2, 3-liners, you know, non sequiturs, things that are just completely unrelated. And I would do about 20 of those for a stand-up. That always worked pretty well. So I was looking at them recently. I brought a lot of these old, I still have some paper files, and I was looking at some of these old ones, and I was dragging out a bunch of them, and I want to do a bunch of them for you. I've been culling them. I've been looking at them. I want you, just these are all unrelated, and they're a little gentler than the last 20 minutes was. I do have a sweet side. Some people see the glass as half empty. Some people see the glass as half full. I see the glass as too big. I've come up with a new roach spray. It doesn't kill the roaches, but it fills them with self-doubt as to whether or not they're in the right apartment. Here's something you never hear. Dad, you really ought to drink more. The wisest man I ever met told me something I'll never forget, but even though I never forgot it, I never quite memorized it either. So what I'm left with is the recollection of something that's really wise that I can't quite bring to mind. Here's some fun. Go into a gift shop and ask for your gift. I saw the sign, I came in for mine. Save you the trouble of looking for me. According to my math, Don Ho can sign his autograph 4 times faster than John Cougar Mellencamp. Now this is something you might have read, this is recent. Last year's census, they said about last year's census that 1.6% of the people weren't counted. How do they know that? Why don't they just add 1.6 and 9? It must be too simple a solution. Go to the dry cleaners. Ask them if they can remove the stains from one pair of pants and put them in another pair of pants. They ought to be able to do that for the same amount of money. And hand them a shirt. Tell them to rotate the buttons. If you have chicken at lunch, and then for some reason you have chicken again at dinner time, do you ever wonder if the 2 chickens knew each other? Yesterday in a public restroom, I used the handicap stall. When I came out of the stall, someone said to me, "Are you handicapped?" I said, "No, not as much as when I went in there." You know you have a drinking problem when you kill someone over a disagreement about Wheel of Fortune. You know how you get out of jury duty? Simple thing. Tell the judge you'll make a really great juror because you can spot guilty people just like that. It all depends on how far apart their eyes are. Get out of that courtroom before you can say justice sucks. No form of surgery you never hear about? Nose enlargement. I guess it just never caught on. There's something you never see. A homeless guy drinking Gatorade. You know you're in the wrong store when you see one of your personal checks framed on the wall if there's a reason that they don't take personal checks. Sometimes they say a boxer is the undisputed heavyweight champion. I wonder, well, if it's undisputed, what's all the fighting about? I honestly believe there never would have been a Second World War if Hitler's first name had been Floyd. It would have been hard to take him seriously. Here's some fun. Stand on line at the bank for a really long time. When you finally get up to the window, just ask for change of a nickel. They actually call other tellers over to look at you. Why must hailstones always be the size of something else? And why is it always sporting equipment? And tumors are always the size of produce. I've noticed that. Hailstones the size of golf balls and a tumor the size of a grapefruit. Sort of an odd thing we've fallen into. My favorite expression is who says so? Who says so? I guarantee that if you repeat the phrase who says so long enough to enough people, someone will take you into custody. Go into a photography shop, ask them if you can buy the pictures of the other people. So how much for that heavy-set couple in the window? So they'll stare at you a long time on that one. In fact, they might even back up several feet. My mother was a woman of great common sense. She once told me if the shoe fits, get another one just like it. Ever notice in a hotel room, sometimes they give you a little sewing kit? You know what I do? I sew the towels together. Sew the sheets to the drapes. Let them know you've been there. Sew a button on a lampshade. Let them figure it out. It's not your job. You know you're in a small town when the restaurant closes at lunchtime so the employees can go home and eat. Now this is true. In England, in 1830, William Huskisson became the first human being ever to be hit by a railroad train. Wouldn't that make you feel stupid? I mean, for millions of years there were no trains. Suddenly we have trains, you get hit. It seemed like you ought to be able to avoid just one train. It weren't like they were all over the goddamn. You know how you get rid of counterfeit money? Put it in a collection plate at church. They don't mind, they just give it to poor people. Hey, when a really stupid person becomes senile, how can they tell? Have you noticed the Ku Klux Klan has not produced any really good dancers? Just one of those odd things, I guess. You know what would be fun? To be a contestant on Jeopardy and just never buzz in. Just stand there half an hour staring at the other two. Kind of fun. When you think about it, George Washington's brother is actually the uncle of our country. One of those things you never think about, that's why I'm here. Here's some fun. Go into a gun store, buy a gun, then buy some ammunition, then ask them if they have any ski masks. You know what's strange? When you wear a hat for a long time, it feels like it's not there. And then when you take it off, it feels like it's still there. Isn't that odd? They should probably switch those two sensations and everything would be all right. I think there ought to be at least one illegal drug that you take in suppository form. That way you can hide it and use it at the same time. Much more efficient. And you know, tell the police, hey, search me, I don't give a shit. Question, where does the dentist go when he leaves you alone? If he's going to the bathroom, I want to know. For years, I tried to come up with a personal ad that no one would ever answer. Just tried to theoretically come up with an ad no one would answer. I think I have it now. Elderly paralyzed alcoholic seeks wealthy, attractive nymphomaniac in her teens. Must be a non-smoker. If you only had one tooth, would you brush it for a long time? Just for sentiment, you know. My Avon lady became a Jehovah's Witness. Shit saves me a trip to the door. Try one more here, I'm going to scream. Not from the stage, but from this. In most cities, the Department of Mental Health is closed after 5 o'clock. When do you think that's when you really start to need it? All the nuts are off work. Try one more, and that's all I have on here anyway, so what the fuck, I can't read blank. You know you're in a small town when the Narcotics Anonymous chapter has only one member and he's hooked on bean dip. All right, that's enough of that stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate your appreciation. Thank you. Thank you. And I can honestly, I'll tell you the truth now, I'm going to do a Letterman the day before the HBO show, so I'm going to use about, ouch, goddamn, half of them. I have an impingement in my shoulder. Do you ever have an impingement? You don't feel it all the time, but sometimes you go a certain way, oh, yeah, that's the word, ouch. Ouchie, ouchie.